This
So did
conference will now be recorded.
you go through yesterday's class?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Did you have any doubts or anything? Any
No,
clarifications need to be done? Fine.
no. It's very clear.
Okay. I'll share my screen. Okay. So now we'll see how yesterday we saw the rack startup sequence, isn't it? So we'll see what are all the events available inside the rack sequence. Okay. So we saw yesterday init one process is there, and then init spawns the OHAST, then OHAST starts the other agents. Okay, we'll see what are all the agents are being spawned by the OHAST. Fine. So here you have this init. So init is spawning a process called OHAST. That is, OHAST means what? Oracle High Availability Service Domain. Okay. So now this OHAST starts 3 agents. Okay. So what these 3 agents are, we'll see. So one is CSST agent. So the other one is Aura agent. The other one is Aura root agent. Okay. So these are the agents being spawned by OHAST. OHAST means what? Oracle High Availability Services Domain. And CSST agent, Aura agent, and Aura root agent. Okay. So now this CSST agent spawns one process called aura.ocsst. Okay, aura.ocsst. Fine. So this Aura agent is spawning so many processes. So like 4 agents or processes it is spawning. Okay. So one is EVMD. Okay. Event Manager Daemon. Another one is MDSND. MD, I'll type here MDNSD. Okay, MDNS daemon. The other one is ASM. Okay. So these are the 4 processes. Okay. So Event Manager EVMD, MDNSD, then ASM processes. Okay. So this what these are, how it is working, we'll see now. So Aura root agent is generating some 5 processes. Okay. So one is CRS daemon. Okay. Another one is CTSSD. Another one is CSSD monitor. CSSD monitor. Okay, so this Aura root agent, again, this CRST, again, it spawns two agents. So one is Aura agent, that is Aura agent. Another one is similarly, it spawns Aura root agent. Okay, Aura agent, and then this Aura root agent it spawns. So this Aura agent, again it spawns so many services. So one is listener. Okay, another one is ASM service. Okay, ASM instance. Another one is DB instance. Listener, ASM, DB, then scan listener. Okay, so these four services along with ONS and EONS. So what do you mean by this? ONS means Oracle Notification Service and EONS means Enhanced Oracle Notification Service. Okay, so along with this DB instance, ASM instance, listener, scan listener, then ONS and EONS are being spawned by Aura agent. Then how about this Aura root agent? Aura root agent, what all it spans means, it spans VIP. Okay, another one GNS VIP. So GNS means grid naming service. Okay, GNS VIP, then GNS daemon. Okay, GNS daemon, GNS daemon, and one more is scan VIP. So VIP, GNS VIP, scan VIP. Okay, as well as network also it only determines. Okay, so that is network. Okay, so this is how it has been spanned. So yesterday's document we saw, that is or yesterday's document, I have sent you one document.
Yeah, ma'am. I checked it.
Yeah, the document, I'll check 1 minute. Yeah, here. So this one only. See, our init is starting the instance. Here. So our init is there. Init is starting OHASD, and this OHASD is starting these two. That is your Aura root agent, and then CTSSD, then Aura agent, then CSSD monitor. Okay. So this CSSD agent as well. So OHASD is starting Aura agent, Aura root agent, then CSSD, then CSSD monitor as well. Okay. So this Aura root agent is again spawning. Aura root agent means what? Root is the owner for all these resources. Okay, so that's why we call this as Aura root agent. And simply if you say Aura agent, then Oracle is the owner for all these resources. Okay, so now Aura root agent is the owner for this CT, SSD and CRSD as well as CSSD monitor. Okay, so what do you mean by this? CT, SSD means what? Cluster time synchronization services daemon. Means for example, some 4 nodes are there, they should maintain the same time between those nodes, otherwise inconsistency will prevail, isn't it? So to avoid it, this daemon will take care, the CTSSD will take care of that. Okay, so now Next one is your CSST monitor. Okay, so because CSST here only it is the CSST agent, this OHAST is spawning, means what? Cluster synchronization services daemon agent. So this is being monitored by this CSST monitor. Can you follow? See, CSST agent is being spawned by OHAST, but still it is being monitored by ORA root agent only, because root is the owner for this one, CTSST, CSST. Okay, there is so many daemons are available, like CRS. CRS means what? Cluster resource service daemon. And you have your CTSST, means cluster time synchronization services daemon. Then CSST means cluster synchronization services daemon, means CSST will just take care of the whole cluster. That is the membership of the cluster. It will take care. See, I'll tell you. See, CSST, cluster synchronization services daemon. Okay, so this is what is CSST is, and CRSD means cluster ready services daemon. Then CTSSD means cluster time synchronization services daemon. Okay, time synchronization services daemon.
Ma'am, can you tell me
Yeah.
about CSS? What it is?
Yeah, I'll tell you everything. So this CSST means node membership information, like which node has left or which node has been in the member. So like this. Okay, load membership information it will be telling us. There is node membership information, it will tell the other members of the cluster. Okay, so that is the use of CSST. Okay, then node membership information means what? Now who is the member and which member has left. Okay, which member has left the group, which member has joined the group. So like that information, node membership information, it will maintain CSST. So CRST means the whole everything, the whole cluster is being maintained by this CRST only. Okay, so maintains the whole cluster. Okay, maintains the whole cluster. If we want to share the information between the blocks, okay, from one DBBC to another, it want to share the information, the transactions are going on. So the transactions has to be shared and the blocks has to be shared, and it has to be informed to the other nodes, or the cluster has joined but the transactions are not done, so it will check whether the transactions are running properly. So the whole cluster related services is being maintained by the CRST only. Okay, so maintains the cluster. And here this CTSS, just now I said, so time synchronization it will check. Okay, so CTSST means that is the daemon process which used to check the time synchronization between the nodes. Okay, so these are the CTSST. Fine. So this is Oracle High Availability Services domain. It is checking that it is present, because this is the one which is being initiated by the init process. Then it spawns three processes. That is, one is CSSD agent, Aura root agent, and then Aura agent, right? So this Aura root agent is spawning three again. Aura root agent is spawning CTSSD as well as CSSD monitor as well as the CRSD. Okay, so Aura root agent is spawning three processes, that is CSSD monitor, CTSSD, and CRSD. So the CSSD monitor used to monitor the whole the CSSD. Okay, that is CSSD monitor. So it monitors the CSSD process. That is Aura.OCSSD is there now. Aura dot. First time it will be somewhat like confusing, but just go through it some 2 to 3 times, it will get used. Okay, so monitors the CSSD.
Yeah.
And so and the service it offers is Aura.OCSSD. Okay, so that is what here this CSSD is monitors this service. The service is given by the CSSD only. So this Aura.OCSSD is given by this one. So the CSSD monitor is again checking that service which is present here in the CSSD. Fine. So now next one is this Aura root agent is following this one, CSSD monitor, CTSSD. So that's what we saw, Aura.CTSSD. That is the service which is responsible for cluster time synchronization between the nodes. So next one is CRS daemon, we have already seen. Fine. So now this CRS daemon is spawning. There is two types of processes. One is Aura agent, the other one is Aura root agent. Okay, so the CRS daemon only I said is a very critical process or service, because that only maintains the whole cluster, right? So this Aura.CRSD is maintaining the whole cluster, means it is spawning two services called Aura agent and Aura root agent. So this Aura agent is spawning the processes called these services it is offering. Aura agent is offering these services. So one is Oracle ASM instance service, another one is enhanced Oracle notification services, and then Oracle notification services, then database instance, then scan listener, then listener. Okay, so these are the 6 types of services it offers. Aura agent means what? Oracle is the owner for this. Okay, Oracle is the owner for these services. There is Aura.listener.listener, then Aura.listener.scan under listener underscore scan dot listener, then Aura.ons, EONS, Aura.asm, Aura.db.db. So we'll try to check here.
Can you tell me about this ONS now, Oracle Notification Service?
Yeah, I'll tell you each and every.
What actually?
Yeah, Oracle notification service is nothing but just to send the SMS between the like sending the messages between the services, what it offers, email service, SMS service, like that, fast application notification. So all those services, messaging services it is offering, that's it. See, ONS means Oracle notification services. It is offering the services like our email service. We can do the email, the applications. We can send the emails through the rack nodes, as well as sending the SMS, messages, emails, all those notifications it is used for. As well as between the nodes as well, it will give that service. Okay, to send this mail from one node to another or so. Fine. So that is what is ONS with enhanced features. You call that as enhanced Oracle notification services. Fine. So ASM instance and DB instance are already there. Listener and scan listener already we know, isn't it? So now we'll check.
You are setting ASM as variable, ASM as
ASM1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the ASM instance for the first node.
Okay.
So in the second node,
So
ASM2. Yeah, tell me.
yeah,
See,
why we are connecting to the ASM instance? Like we can connect to database instance also.
no. See, through the ASM instance only we are connecting to the database. Okay, if the ASM instance is not available, then we cannot connect to the database instance, because from the ASM is where from the shared storage only we are invoking the ASM instance. Through the ASM instance only all the other nodes can connect to the ASM. From the ASM only you can connect to the database instance. Okay, if the ASM instance
Okay.
is not there, you won't be able to, normal database, what you'll do, directly you will connect to the database instance, isn't it? See,
Okay.
yeah, good question I have used. Wait, I'll just close this. See, normally what will happen is, in our, yeah, this is your application. So application will connect to the listener, and the listener will connect to the instance. So the instance will connect to the database. This is your instance and this is your database. Okay, like this only it happens. First one, this is your application. Okay, this is your application, and application is connecting to the listener. And through the listener only it is getting connected with the instance. So instance is connecting to the database. So normally this is the procedure. Fine. So now in rack instance, what happens is application will get connected with your listener. Okay, that is scan listener. This is what is. See, this is ASM instance. ASM instance is getting connected with the DB instance. Then DB instance only is getting connected with the database. Okay, so here this is your application and scan listener this is. Okay, so this is your ASM instance. So through your ASM instance you are connecting to the that is normal listener. Okay, normal listener to the this you consider this as a normal listener, and this is your database instance. This is your database instance. Okay, this is your database. Fine. So application through your ASM instance only getting connected with the DB instance. This is okay. So from the DB instance you are connecting to the database. Can you follow?
Yeah, ma'am. Okay.
So now this scan listener is not working or ASM instance is not working. Application will not be able to connect to the DB instance. So that's why we have one concept called Flex ASM came into existence. So there what happens is you have your, this is your one node. Okay, node 1. This is your node 1. Okay, so just bear with my drawing. It's not properly come.
Yeah, no problem.
So this is your node 1. Okay, so similarly here you have your node 2. Flex cluster yesterday we saw, no? Similarly we have one more concept called Flex ASM. Okay, so now you have in the second node you have the same thing, like your application is there, scan listener is there, as well as ASM instance is there. Then through the normal listener you are connecting to the DB instance, then DB instance with the database it gets connected. Fine. So this is how it gets connected. So now what happens if any ASM instance gets crashed, then automatically this, so this is your application. So this is your scan listener, and this is your ASM instance, and this is your DB instance. Okay. Okay. So this is your database. I mean, a database means it's a shared one, isn't it? So all the nodes are connected here. That is DB instance is getting here. Okay, so this is your node 2. So now flex ASM means if this instance gets crashed, okay, so this DB instance will go and attach to this ASM instance. Okay, through this ASM instance, it will get connected to the DB instance, and from the DB instance, this DB instance can connect here. This is DB instance 1, for example. This is DB instance 2 means, okay. So DB instance 2 this is. So DB instance 1 can connect to the ASM instance. Through this ASM instance, it can connect to the shared storage. This is called as flex ASM. Okay. So even if this ASM instance of a particular node gets crashed also, no need to bother. Earlier, when we used for the single node database, when we used ASM as the storage, what we had is when the ASM instance gets crashed, then DB instance also could not connect with the database. But now if this ASM instance gets crashed also, this DB instance can go and connect with the ASM instance whichever is available. Then from there ASM instance, it will get connected to the database. Fine. So this concept is called flex ASM. So this is an important question. This is an interview question. What concepts? There is what's your flex ASM? What do you mean by flex cluster? So flex cluster means yesterday we saw hub nodes and leaf nodes. So to increase the scalability and to reduce the workload of the hub nodes which are tightly connected with the storage, we are going for leaf nodes which are loosely coupled and they don't have the storage themselves. They cannot access the storage themselves directly. They will access with the hub nodes only. So even if that hub nodes gets crashed also, it will get connected with the other hub nodes, through which we are able to failover is being achieved, as well as load balancing is being achieved, as well as high availability is also being achieved. Okay. So why you are going for rack means these are the features like availability, high availability, scalability, load balancing, and failover. Okay, so all these 4 characteristics you have written.
Yeah,
so
clear. It's clear.
Yeah, so this is how we used to do. Fine. So now we'll see because this one we should be very clear. Okay. So this Aura root agent, this is responsible for this cluster time synchronization and simply synchronization. That is to check the nodes. Okay, CSSD monitor to check the nodes, node membership, which is leaving, which is joining the cluster. For example, some 10 nodes are there means it's very difficult to check, right? So the CSSD monitor will check whether the cluster is in sync or not. Fine. So now this CRS daemon, it is checking this one, that is enhanced Oracle notification services. So your SMS messages or your Oracle email services, all these things are being handled by this. So ASM instance, database instance, all these services, Oracle is the owner, right? Then scan listener as well as the listener, normal listener. So scan listener, just now we saw that is in our machine. We'll check. So this is scan VIP, which we discussed yesterday. This one. These are the 3 scan listeners, 3 IPs we gave now. So those 3 scan listeners are here. So which are being maintained by the Oracle only. Fine. So this is what we are speaking here. and the normal listener. So normal listener, which we used pre-12c also, we used to establish the connection between the server and the client, isn't it? So that is what. So these are the services offered by the Oracle. So that has been given by the Aura agent. And how about this Aura root agent? So these are the services being given. That is VIP. That is what we saw just now. No, scan1.vip. This one rack1.vip, like that. Okay, so that is aura.rack1.vip, rack2.vip. So these are being maintained by the root user. Okay, so that is what is Aura root agent is maintaining. Okay, then network. So aura.network, net1.network. So this is the main network which will monitor the whole network. Okay, then GNS. What do you mean by this? GNS means grid naming service. So like domain naming service we have, isn't it? So for host IP address, we will give some name and we call that as the host name, isn't it? So similarly, here for grid naming service, we are using this particular Aura root agent. Okay, so if at all we are not using ASM, then we'll grid naming service is an optional one. We are not using normally. So when we want to use it, we can use it. Okay, grid naming service like DNS only, it will give some name for like scan IP only. Grid naming service also will give one IP we have to give, and that grid naming service will check. Instead of DNS, we can go for grid naming as well. So in large organizations, they used to use this grid naming service. That is, they will change the IP into host name, corresponding cluster related host name they will give. So that is what is grid naming service. Fine. So aura.gnsd, then aura.scanvip. So scanvip, you know already. That is scan. What's the difference between scan listener and scanvip? So scan listener means like it will redirect using this scanvip. The scan listener will redirect to which nodes are available, where it has to go. All such things it will be doing. Fine. So that is what is here. Then here in case of your Aura agent, it is giving the services like MD and SD. That is Microsoft services daemon. Okay, normally we don't use this. Then Aura.event manager. So like whenever one event has occurred, or it is checking the events. Okay, events management. So all these are secondary or the least priority only. Normally we used to give these services, that is ASM instance, DB instance, Oracle scan listener, this one only. Listener, scan listener, database instance, and Oracle instance. So all these only we used to go. So whenever we saw yesterday GPNPD, so this profile only contains about the details about the ASM, isn't it? ASM SP file, ASM disk group, then ASM disk discovery string. So this I wanted to show you. See, ASM discovery string means cd/dev/oracle ASM/disks. So here only our disks are present. So this is called as ASM discovery string. Okay. So normally this is the default path, that is /dev/oracle ASM/disks. So this is the default path which is called as discovery string. We used to say ASM discovery string. Fine. Then ASM SP file. So if you give ASM command, you can check this. See, under data is our disk group. Okay, list or list disk group, LSDG. If you give, it will show us the details for all the whole thing. That is in which state it is in mounted stage, and external redundancy is being followed. So rebalance is being maintained. No, not it. Then sector, how many sectors are there? 512 sectors. Logical sectors is 512. Then blocks, 4096 blocks, 4K blocks are being assigned for each sector. Then AU, there is allocation unit, 4 MB. Each unit we are allocating 4 MB. Then how many total MB is this much? Then free MB is this much. So required mirror free MB. is how much? 0. Usable file MB. Then offline disks. Any offline disks are there? No. Then voting file is there? Yes. So voting file is present in this ASM disk group only. So normally in organization in real time, we used to have some 5 or 10 disks in a disk group. Okay. So in any of the one disk group only, we used to have our voting file. Fine. So that will show us voting file as yes. The other disk groups will show us no here. Okay. Name of the disk group is data slash. So like this, we used to go using ASM command. Okay. ASM command, we can find out what is the disk group status and where is the SP file, all those things we can find out. So inside data disk group, we'll go and check. See, ASM directory is there, RACDB directory is there, underscore management DB is there. Then Aura password ASM, Aura password ASM underscore backup. Then rack hyphen cluster. So we'll go inside every directory and explore what's there. See, under ASM directory, we have the password directory. So just password will go and list it. See, 2 Aura password files are there. Okay. Then we'll go to and list it. So here we have RACDB. See, all are PDB directory, PDB $seed root container. So my database contains PDB. So PDB1 I created and root container and the PDB seed. So all those machine names are there, and the control file, data file, online log file, parameter file, password file, temp file. So we saw that grid plug and play profile contains ASM SP file as well. So it will be there inside this parameter file. So we'll check that. See, this is the SP file. Okay. So using this SP file only, your OHASD will check the what is it? That is, it will start the CSSD, and CSSD will check this grid plug and play profile, which contains the information, the location of this ASM SP file, and the location of the whole, that is the ASM instance information, everything is present in the GPNPD. Okay. As well as the voting file location. So voting file location is available in this ASM disk group. It will say that. Okay. Accordingly, only your CSSD will start the cluster. Fine. So now you go to the temp file. So this. So temporary file then. So data file is here. So sysocs system undo. So 2 undo table spaces and 1 users. Okay. So this is 12CR2 database. That's why undo table space for the PDBs as well we have. Okay. For PDB1 we have 1 undo table space. That's what this one is. Then users. Okay. So this is a we used to check. So just list. This is your grid management repository, MG, MT, DB is there now. So this is your grid management repository, which is containing the files. Fine. So
These are the same files like which are present in RACDB.
Yes, because no, similar files, not same files.
Similar.
Yeah, similar files, because if you check here, see here you can see the last one, 7B is here, DA. So this also contains its own pluggable database as well. Okay, the control file, data file, online log file, everything. As we have our user-defined database, similarly, it will also have its own grid management repository database. Fine. So RACDB, I created grid management repository while we are doing the installation itself. It will do. It will create one management database. So to maintain all the metadata of the whole grid, it has been maintained. Okay. So like this only we normally used to do. So this is a present working directory. Fine. So this is what this grid plug and play daemon service. If you are using this grid plug and play daemon, then the corresponding GNS is there. No, GNS will be available. So now we have not used this GPNPD. So instead, directly it is checking from the ASM instance itself, because ASM instance only have all the, I mean, your information about the voting file disk or OCR, everything is present inside the ASM disk group. Directly it is going and checking. So if we want our grid naming services, that is in large organizations, they will follow this GPNPD and the corresponding GNS daemon service. Okay. So while we are installing, you would have observed that it would ask in one step whether you want to set up grid naming service. You want to give a separate IP for that. So if we click that, you have to give a separate IP. Using that grid naming service will check all the IPs. Like our rack scan, we do know. So like that, your grid naming service is just like the rack scan only, but in the higher level. Okay, like 100 nodes in a cluster or 50 nodes in a cluster. At that time, we'll go for this grid naming service daemon. So for a small organization, we don't require this. Fine. So another one is we have let's know about database services. Okay, so we are normally when we consider so in a single instance, normally what will happen is your application will connect to the through the listener. It will connect to the instance, and from the instance it will get connected to the database, isn't it? So normally single instance database, this is the case. Fine. So this is your application, and this is your instance, and this is your database, isn't it? So now what will happen is when your application is connecting to the instance, it is connecting through the, in the connection string we normally used to give SID, isn't it? In our TNS names.ora we'll be giving SID. So instead of this SID, we can give service name as well. So through the services also we can connect to the instance. So for example, application 1 wants to connect through your instance to your instance, it can connect through services as well, that is S1 or one more service called S2. Okay, so now if this service S1 is not available, also through some other service it can connect to the instance and database. So for example, this SID is not working or it is overloaded. Okay, this SID is been connected with various applications or connecting through this SID means this application cannot connect with this instance and through to the database, right? So instead what we can have is we can have we have one package called dbms underscore services. Okay, so for normally single instance database we use this dbms underscore services package, so through which we normally used to connect. Okay, so through this services, if you are connecting, we have the advantage that we find out how much load each application is connecting through. So for example, application 1 is connecting through S1 and application 2 is connecting through S2. Okay, application 2 is connecting through S2. means this application 1 I want to stop, because application 2 is today, now it is overloaded. Okay, it is occupying the whole instance. Okay, application 2 is overloaded today, so I want to stop this application. Okay, so through this SID, if I am connecting, then I won't be able to stop like this. If through the services, if I am connecting, means I can just stop the service S1, so that this application cannot connect to the database to make it overflown with queries, whereas my A2 only can dominate. Okay, so my A2 is a very critical application which I have to run now, no other way. Okay, at that time what I can do is, through the service, if this A1 is connecting through this S1 only, isn't it? So I can stop this S1, so that only A2 can connect to S2, and through the S2 I can connect to the database. Okay, through the S2 I can connect to the instance and through the database. So that advantage is there. Fine. So in case of single instance database itself, I have that advantage. And I used to use the package called dbms underscore services. One package is there. Fine. So we used to use like this. As well as in case of your RAG database, what happens is, I have 2 instances, or might be 5 instances or 10 instances. That depends on the number of the cluster, isn't it? So this is instance 1. Okay, this is instance 2. Okay, here your application is getting connected. So application 1 and application 2 is getting connected. Fine. So your database is here. So now what happens is, this application is connecting to I1 and A2 is connecting to I2. Fine. So if through the SID means, I cannot, if it is through the services means, so for example, S1 is here and the same S1 is here. Okay, through the service, it is getting connected. Okay. So if this particular application is connecting to the through the S1 to this instance, and from this it is getting connected with the database. Okay, if this instance gets crashed, what I can do is, application can fail over here. Okay, in case of services, but SID I cannot do that. Fine. So because SID is a single one through which I have to connect, right? So through the services, if I connect, I can find out, I can fail over the application as well, right? So if this instance gets crashed also, this service S1 I can connect here, or what I can do, through some other service S2 I can connect. Okay, through some other service called S2 I can connect to the instance I2. From the I2 I can connect to the database. Fine. So this is how this is the use of the database services. Fine. As well as we can find out as well, that is, if the applications are connecting through the services to the instance instead of SID, I can find out which application is taking more time. There is, or which user is blocking the whole session, or running a lot of transactions and making the DB hang. So if I want to find out who is hanging the database, who is the culprit, which user is doing that, means what I can do, using these services I can find out that also. Okay, and also one more thing is, using this services I can enable the traces as well in the service level. Okay, I can enable the traces like 1041, like that we have, no? So, trace levels we have, isn't it? So those trace levels I can enable those trace levels for in the service level as well, so that I can find out what happened inside my might be for my future inquiry or investigation I want to find out, means I can find out using the services. It's very useful for me. Fine. So that is the use of these services in case of our databases. Okay, so single instance database means 2 applications or can connect to the database through the same service, or they can fail over as well. And if it is connecting through the rack means it can fail over. That is two services through separate services also it can connect, as well as through the same service they can connect, but they can fail over from one node to the other. And also I can find out using the services how much CPU is being consumed, how about the response time, how about the host of metrics, then load, so how much load is occupied by which application. So all these things I can do. Fine. Then as I said earlier, we can stop one service and we can proceed with the other service, and we can enable the tracing as well. Then we are using normally the services in rack and data guard. Okay, so that we can do the failover as well. Fine. So these are the database services we have. The importance of the database services, that is while we are giving the service name inside your tns-names.ora, normally in data guard, in physical standby databases, we used to give this service name normally. So for the rack also, if you are giving service name, it's better that we can administer it very efficiently. Fine. So that is the use of this database services. Okay. So now next one we'll see about scans and all in the next class. Yeah, tell me.
Okay, ma'am. Like